Well, hello, everybody. Very excited to have you all today at our deep stretch. It is August. It's very nice here in Vancouver. And this is Stacy. I'm very excited to have you all here. For how we're starting today is we're just going to stand with our feet wider than shoulder width apart for right now on our mat. So we're just standing. I want you to have a nice slight knee bend. And I want you just to begin breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, just starting with breath to just trust and have us all be present, uh, kind of getting our bodies and our minds ready for this deep stretch. So we're just kind of standing with those feet shoulder width apart, knees bent. My arms are just relaxed at my side. I want you to just kind of start breathing in through the nose, filling that belly up with a big breath, and then exhaling through pursed lips or through like you're blowing out of a straw with your lips. Good. Now, if you want, as you're breathing, if you want to just shift your weight from the left to right, kind of shaking out those hips a little bit. Just again, we're going to kind of just make small movements as we're standing and breathing, just kind of getting our body ready to move. So a little bit of a dynamic-y warm-up, we'll say. All the time, we're just breathing. Good. Now, from there, if your feet are too wide, you can move them in a little bit, but we're just going to pedal our feet up and down. So what I mean by that is you're going to shift your weight to your right foot onto your right toe and lift your right heel, and then shift your weight to your left toe and lift your left heel. You're just pedaling up and down. So lifting your heels up and down, almost like you're riding a bike, but you're stationary. So just lifting your right heel up and your left heel. You can go as slow or as fast as you want. Again, we're just kind of waking up that body. Good. All right, from here, we're going to lift up both heels at once. Go as high as we can on our toes. You can place your hand on a chair in front of you if you need to. And then we're just going to drop down on our heels. And I actually do want you to have a little bit of like a little bit of a vibration when your heels come down. So it's okay. Keep those knees slightly bent. It's okay if you almost like feel like you're like a dinosaur walking through a room. You want the room to shake a little bit with your weight. So we're just waking up that lymphatic system. Again, making sure our body's ready to start stretching. It's really good to be intentional before we start movement and our warm up to think about moving, because then our body will already naturally start to move and relax into what we're doing. And with deep stretch, we want our body to be in flow. We want it to be relaxed. We want it to be ready so we go really deep. Good. You can go ahead and shake those feet out. You can just be in a comfortable stance, whatever that looks like. We're going to just do some shoulder rolls. So my feet are just shoulder width distance. I'm keeping that nice knee bend in there, just a slight knee bend. And I'm going to roll my shoulders really slowly forward. So what I might mean by slowly and getting that shoulder mobility ready, because that's going to be important for when we're on our knees and kind of doing some of that work, is I really want you to push your shoulders, round them forward, and then push your shoulders down, which brings your shoulder blades down. Push them back, squeezing those shoulder blades together, and then up towards our ears. And so really just being super slow as you roll your shoulders forward, kind of caving that back, arching that back, and then as they go backwards, opening that chest up, squeezing those shoulder blades together. So just very, very slow and intentional, waking up those shoulders. Go ahead and reverse it. So going backwards, and feel free to kind of move your neck any way you like as you're doing that. So just isolating those shoulders to just roll them forward and backward. Good. Go ahead and take your wrists or your hands, and I want you just to flex your wrist away from your body and then point your fingers up towards the ceiling. So we're just doing what they call wrist flicks. We're just flicking our wrists up so our fingertips point to the ceiling, and then flicking them away so they point towards the ground. You can roll your wrists if you want to a little bit, whichever movement you prefer, whether that's flicking or rolling is okay. Again, just kind of getting everything ready that we're going to start using. And then go ahead and gently place your hands on your hips. We're going to do some gentle, slow hip circles for the same reason, for the same way that we did these shoulder rolls, really intentional. You're going to plant those feet firmly in the ground. I want you to push your butt back, and I want you just to slowly start to roll your hips to the side and then forward, not moving your whole body in a circle. You're just shifting your hips in a circle. So a little bit more isolated movement. Again, just getting that body ready to go deeper into our stretch as we move. So just nice slow movements, kind of pushing those glutes out, then tucking your pelvis in as you round out to the side. And just make sure you're breathing. And then go ahead and go the other way. And if you feel like you need a little more time doing these circles in a certain spot, feel free to do that. And just keep those knees slightly bent. Sometimes I feel like my toes aren't spread enough as I'm doing things. So if you want to kind of like rub your toes in your mat, almost like you're like a cat kneading a blanket or something like that, you can do that with your toes to kind of spread them out. And we're going to do that for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Go ahead and shake out anything else that you need. And we're going to just begin our first flow. And it's going to be a standing, and then we'll go into kneeling, but standing to start. So right where we are, feet at a comfortable distance. You pick that distance, whatever you feel best at. It can be wide-legged or narrow. We're going to just do a nice standing side body reach. So my feet are firmly planted. I'm looking straight ahead. My knees are nice and bent. I'm going to take that right hand. I'm going to inhale and reach it over my right ear. And then I'm going to bend towards my left, reaching that over towards my left. You can let your left hand hang down toward your side, and we're just going to stay here. So we're holding positions for about 1 to 2 minutes each. And I want you to breathe. Good. Now, if you feel like your butt is like really sticking out, so you're making a C curve in your back, I want you to tuck that butt in and tuck that pelvic floor in a little bit to keep that core engaged as we're stretching. That's going to give us a nice neutral spine as we do this. And feel free to breathe. You can stay in that position, or if you need to come out of it for a second, that's okay. And what I like to do is take that left hand that's dangling and just try to reach it further towards my toe. As we get to 30 seconds in our stretch, our body's going to start to open up, releasing that fascia, maybe any lactic acid. And you can let your head hang. So you don't have to push you can just let your head hang as it falls. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. About 45 more seconds. It might feel like a really long time, but I want you to keep breathing. Keep trying to push yourself to that little bit of discomfort, and then let your body open up into that deeper stretch. Breathing is going to be your friend here, making sure you're really filling that belly. And then on that exhale, if you let all the air out, can you go a little deeper? We have 15 seconds. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come back to center and go ahead and shake it out a little bit. Good. We're going to inhale, take that left hand, reach it up to the sky and over our ear, and then reach and stretch towards our right side. You might find that this side's a little tighter, so we're just going to breathe into that tightness. Using our breath as a tool to deepen that stretch, calling attention to where we might feel tightness. And you can visualize that fascia or those muscles expanding or releasing any tension, creating space for all that goodness to be able to have us be more mobile. So creating space for more mobility. This side's a lot tighter for me, so I'm not going as far down. So I'm just really focusing on trying to let my body release that tension. And if you've taken a class with me, I love to do visualizations. So our fascia, when it is really, really tight and there's no space in it, looks like it's like a patchwork thread. So it's really, really tight, like really intricate threads. And what we want is to create space in the fascia, in the muscle fibers. So if you're a bread maker, or if you've seen anyone kind of like pull apart bread, when you pull apart bread to stretch it, you get these little holes. And that's what we want in our fascia. We want to create space so that water can move through it and all our neurons, and so that we can stretch deeper. Good, about 30 more seconds on this side. And so if you have a little point of pain, if you go a little deeper, just discomfort, I want you to focus on that spot and then just imagine your body, your fascia spreading apart so that you have all these little holes to create space. And space is just mobility. That's what it is. It's releasing the tension so that we can move better. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come back up to standing and go ahead and shake it out a little bit. Just get a nice good breath. We're going to do our standing forward fold. We are going to hold this for 2 minutes. I'm going to give you some different cues as we're in that hold. If at any time you need to stand up just to give yourself a break, that's fine. So my feet are, I'm going to move my feet a little bit wider actually, just because it's a little bit more comfortable for me. And I can go into the fold a little bit more. And I'm going to point my toes away. You can do whatever feels comfortable with your feet. They can be hip distance, wider. We're going to have a nice slight knee bend, a soft belly, so you can tuck that pelvic floor in. Imagine like you're pulling that belly button to your spine with a string. You're going to inhale. As you exhale, bring those hands up over your head. Good. Now inhale. As you exhale, hinge at the hip, so our hip just folds forward as we come down, reaching down towards the ground, looking straight through the ground, and now down towards our toes, where our arms and our head will just hang there. So we're really just going to let gravity do the work, allowing our, allowing our head to drop. And then just imagine your spine pouring out any tension like sand from a bag, and it's just pouring out of you. So any tension from the week or the day, it's just coming out of us as we go deeper and deeper into this stretch. Now we've done this for 30 seconds. Sometimes when I'm in forward folds, I do like to shift my weight on my legs. I like to kind of move my hips a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that. It also gives me a little stretch in my hamstring. Using your breath as you exhale, feel free to go a little deeper into that forward fold. Good. We have about a minute left. I want you to take your hands and place them on your elbows. So you can just hold either elbow. Good. Now I want you to push those elbows a little bit further towards your toes or towards the ground, letting that head hang, using your breath to deepen that forward fold. Again, releasing any tension. Good. You can shake your head yes. You can shake your head no. If you want to do some arm circles as you're in that forward fold, feel free to. And you're just letting gravity do the work for about 20 more seconds. And again, if you need to take little breaks, you can. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Have a nice big inhale. As you exhale, tuck your pelvic floor in. Slowly stand up as each vertebrae stacks on top of each other until you're standing. Good. Now, just so we don't get any head whiplash or anything like that, feel free to take 3 breaths and roll your shoulders forward and backward as you just come back to that standing position. Good. Now we are going to go on to our, excuse me, onto our knees. If knees are uncomfortable for you, then you can stay standing. We're not going to be on our knees for long, but if you want to stay standing, I will give you that option, and you can use a wall. So have a wall or something you can lean against for this next portion. So we're going to go down onto all fours, or if you're going to use a wall, you're going to just go next to the wall or a desk, and you're going to step about a body length away, or a half a body length away. And I want you just to lean your hands on the wall. So just kind of put your weight on that wall. Your feet can be shoulder width apart. And if you are on the mat, you're just going to have tabletop position, just like we were about to do cat-cow. We are going to do a little cat-cow just to kind of get a little bit more work in that spine. And then we're going to go into a low lunge and a half, quote unquote, a half split before we go into child's pose. So for cat-cow, if you're on your mats, you're going to just tuck your pelvic floor in, tuck your chin in, and push your spine towards the ground. Really inhaling and exhaling, we're going to stay in that cat pose. If you're on the wall, you're going to tuck your pelvic floor in and push your spine towards your heels as your head tucks in and you lean your body weight into the wall for cat pose. So you're just pushing your spine away where your weight is anchored. So my weight right now is anchored in my mat. I'm pushing my spine away, tucking my chin to my chest, and I'm just breathing in for cat. Good. And see if you can go a little bigger with that cat spine, just really pushing that away, rounding those shoulders. And we're going to exhale, and our next inhale, exhale to cow. So inhale, exhale to cow. And what cow is, you're going to drop that belly. So let your belly hang. You can have that C curve in your back. And you're going to take your head and look towards the ceiling. So if you're on the mat, just letting that belly hang towards the mat and then looking up towards the ceiling. If you're on the wall, what you're going to do is you might need to take a half-inch step in closer. You're going to push your belly towards the wall, letting your weight lean on the wall, and then you're just going to look back or look up towards the ceiling, and you're just going to breathe. Now, what really makes cow special is if you allow your belly to relax, but then you fill it up as wide as you can with your breath, you should feel stretching in different parts of your belly. Good. Big breaths. Perfect. Okay, from here, we're going to go to that low lunge. So I want everybody to sit up on their knees. So your glutes won't be touching your heels. You're just going to sit up on your knees. And if you are on the wall, place your weight on the wall on your hands and move your body about half a body length away. We're going to take our right leg. We're going to put it in front of us, so towards the wall or on the mat. My foot's going to be flat on the ground. I'm going to have a knee bend from my hip to my knee to my ankle, so 90 degrees. And we're going to do a low lunge or a lunge. And so we're going to shift our weight, excuse me, on that right leg to pushing our hips towards the wall. So go ahead and shift your weight. So we're doing a low lunge. You actually are going to feel this in your left leg. So if my hands are on the wall, I just have a nice slight knee bend in my right knee, and I'm pushing my hips towards the wall. If I'm on the mat, my knee is in a full 90-degree angle. My right foot's flat on the ground, and I'm just pushing my hips towards the wall. Nice high chest. Your hands can be on your hips or on the wall, whatever you prefer. And we're just pushing that hip to the wall. We're doing this for about another minute, and we're just going to breathe into it. Breathing, allowing our body to release that tension, Another one I really like is imagine that tension melting away like an ice cube. Good. And if you want to look up, you can also look up. Beautiful. And then go ahead and relax. We're now going to take that same leg, and instead of pushing our hips forward, we're going to push our hips back, which will allow our whole right leg to extend so that there's no knee bend in it. And what we're going to do is now feel that stretch in our calf and our hamstring. So you're now just shifting your hips back towards your glutes, and you're just holding it. And if you're on the wall, you're going to anchor your hands on the wall, and you're just going to push your hips back so that you're, again, just extending that right leg so that there's no knee bend in it. You can have your hands on either side of your leg or on one side of your leg, whatever's comfortable, and just really try to get that stretch in that hamstring. Good. And we're just holding this. We're doing these ones for about 90 seconds, and then we'll switch the other leg. And again, just imagining that tension or tightness melting, giving us a really, really nice, good hip stretch. Good. Beautiful. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we have one more here. I made one mistake. I forgot one thing. So from here, this is going to be a little bit different. So this is for my friends on the mat, and then I'll explain what you'll do standing because it'll be different standing. So if you're on your mat, you're going to take your right leg and you're going to cross it in front of your left leg on the ground. So this might be a little bit hard, but you're basically going to do a figure 4. So your heel is going to go where your knee was on your left leg. Now, you can do this in a lot of ways, but basically I just lean forward and put my right leg on the ground so that it's in front of my left knee. And right now I have both my hands on the ground. Okay. And so what we're going to do is just like pigeon pose. And again, my friend's using the wall. I'll explain what you're going to do in just a minute. But if you're on your mat, my leg is now in a figure 4 spot and I'm on all fours. You're going to sit on your right hip, extending that left leg back to get a nice stretch in your right hip. If you're standing, you're going to stand up straight. You're going to cross your right leg over your left leg, and you're just going to bend down into a forward fold, holding that position. Now we're just getting a nice outside stretch on that right hip. This is also called pigeon pose if you're familiar with that. And you can lean your weight onto your hip if that gives you a better stretch. So don't be afraid if you feel like you're doing it wrong. Just find where there's tightness in that right hip and move until you feel it. And then just breathe into that space, allowing it to release and move. And if you're standing in that forward fold position with that right leg over your left leg, if you're like, I don't feel anything, what you can actually do is bend your knees a little bit. See if bending your left knee and getting you closer to the ground gives you a little bit more stretch. About 30 more seconds with this one, and then we're going to go do that left leg. Good. Allow that tension to release those hips. Really getting a great leg workout right now, leg stretch right now. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. You're going to go ahead and go back to all fours or standing position. So from that all 4 position or tabletop position, go ahead and take a few breaths. And if you're standing now and you were just bent over, just take a few grounding breaths. You can place your hands on the wall or on the mat. You're going to take that left leg up. Whoops. I just got a little tippy like a teapot. You're going to bring that left leg up flat on the ground. My left knee is bent at a 90-degree angle. Good. Just center your breath. And we're going to push that that right hip and that left knee towards the opposite wall. So same thing, if your hands are on the wall, you're going to push those hips towards the wall, and you can lean back a little bit if you want to get a more stretch in that right hip. And we're just breathing, my friends, just breathing, really feeling into that space, allowing our body to release whatever it's holding. It's Friday, so man, it's been a week for a lot of people, or maybe even today, and it could be a great week or a long week. Either way, we're just stretching, just relaxing into it, taking our time, listening to our body, deciding what it needs, and then honoring that. And what I find is if I just do micro movements, little movements, I might find a spot that just needs a little bit more work. I have really, really tight hips, and I've been working on it a lot. But I really try to just kind of lean my weight into those hips when I'm doing movements like this to feel if I can go a little deeper. So using our weight as a tool as well. About 10 more seconds for this pose. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and come back to that neutral position. And we're going to now push our hips back, extending that left leg so that there's only a slight knee bend. And you're going to feel that stretch in your hamstring. You can sit back on your heel if you're that flexible. You can have both hands on one side of the leg or one on either side. If you're on the wall, you're just extending that leg out in front of you as your hips go back. Really getting a nice stretch in your hamstring, so behind that leg, and then maybe even your calf. If you're not feeling it on the wall, you can place the pad of your foot at an angle on the wall, kind of giving you a nice calf stretch as you lean forward. So a little bit different if you're not feeling it enough. We have about 45 more seconds in this pose. Again, focusing on the body, releasing any tension. It knows what to let go. Breathing. If you yawn while you're stretching, that's a really, really good sign that your body's correcting and releasing. So it might not be that you're tired. It might just be your body being like, hey, thanks for paying attention to me. Thanks for deep stretching. 20 more seconds. Good. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful job. You're going to take that left leg and put it in front of your right knee on the ground. So a figure 4. My shoulders are pointing forward, and I'm just going to sit back on that left hip until I feel that stretch in my left hip. So it might feel awkward to get in this position. Just take your time until you find a spot where like, okay, I feel like I'm stretching. If you're standing, you're going to take your left leg now, cross it over your right leg, and go into that forward fold. Good. Now, right now, I'm kind of sitting on my left hip a little bit just to kind of get that deeper stretch. And I'm really driving my weight into my left hip as I lean forward. And I'm just breathing. Good. Wonderful. After this one, we're going to go into child's pose before we go into our seated and supine deep stretches. Perfect. Really great job. Go a little deeper using your breath. Inhale. Exhale all that breath out so you can decompress onto that hip. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful job. We're going to do we're going to do some child's pose. This is on the mat. If you're not on the mat, I will give you an option to do it on the wall. It's a little bit different on the wall. So child's pose first, we're going to be on our all fours on the mat. Now this one, you don't stay on your knees. So if you want to try this, that's a good one to try. We're going to push our heels together and widen our knees as wide as we can. We're going to use our hands to press our hips towards our toes. So keep widening those knees, We're going to look straight through the mat and just breathe in a child's pose. Good. And you're just going to hold it. You can drop to your forearms as well. If you're standing, you can stand with your feet a body length away, so a little bit wider. Place your hands on the wall flat, and I want you just to get a nice spinal stretch. So you're going to have your hands a little bit higher than your spine or higher than your head, and you're going to curve your back and let your head hang between your hands. So you're just getting a nice spinal stretch. You want your hands to be higher than your shoulders. And we're just breathing. Good. From here, I want you to walk your hands to the right. So move your hands to the right a little bit, keeping your hips square. And we're just going to do a little side stretch in child's pose. So what that looks like on the wall is you're going to just move your hands to the right as your hips stay square. So as your hips stay square or straight to the wall. Same thing on the kneeling or on the mat. You're going to move those hands to the right and keep your hips straight. Breathing into that stretch on the side. And your head stays between your arms the whole time. Good. You're going to take those hands and now walk to the left side. Slowly but surely, just walk to the left side. Good. Reaching and stretching. Keeping those hips square as your upper body twists to release. Breathing, using our breath. Letting gravity do the work. Good. Slowly come back to center. I want you to push those heels back towards your glutes a little bit more. Drop that head between your hands. If you're on the wall, just drop that head back into that typical child's pose. Breathe in really big. Breathe out. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful job. We are now done with our standing portion or our kneeling portion. You can go ahead and sit on your glutes. And we're just going to sit cross-legged right now or crisscross applesauce. But just take a minute to get situated, not catch your breath, but kind of right your breath from being upside down a little bit or kind of in a different position. Excuse me. Okay. So from that crisscross applesauce position, we're going to do a forward fold. Now, if having your legs crisscross applesauce is uncomfortable, that's okay. You can spread them out and do a V if you prefer. That's up to you. So whatever you like. You could also do butterfly stretch too if you want with your heels together. That is also works just fine. And I think I'm going to do that one as well. So I'm sitting crisscross applesauce or in butterfly or whatever is comfortable. I'm going to have a nice high chest. Before we go into that forward fold, I just want us to make sure that our shoulders aren't in our ears. So drop your shoulders down. I have a nice high chest, and I'm just going to breathe in through my nose, out through my mouth. Good. I want you to have really good posture. Continue breathing and then just follow my cues. Inhale, lift your hands up over your head. And as you exhale, reach your hands out over your toes, looking straight down on the ground. I want you just to reach and fold as much as you can into this cross-legged fold, seated. You want that fold to come from the hips and really letting your forehead fall just like a stone towards your toes. Letting your shoulders and or they say letting your heart lead the way, but just letting your shoulders lead the way as you breathe. You can relax that head so it hangs. And if you don't want to grab like the inside of your ankles to pull your body closer to your legs, you can stretch your hands out away. That's a little bit different too as you're in the forward fold. Each time you exhale, try to go a little deeper. Yes. For 15 seconds. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Let's take those legs out nice and wide. So we're going to put them in a straddle pose or in a V pose. So take your legs out into a V or as wide as they can go. So some people are very flexible and they can go like a split, but you can scoot your glutes forward or scoot your legs out. I want your legs to be as wide as they can. Good. Sit up nice and straight. Push those shoulders down. Good. I want you to imagine that you have like a weight on your tailbone, and then I want you to imagine that you have a pulley on the top of your head. And we're just going to sit and breathe and stretch that spine as much as we can. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Take that left hand, inhale and raise it to the sky. And as you exhale, reach towards your right foot. But I want you to reach over your head as your right hand slides down to your toes. Pull your toes towards your nose and just use it as an anchor to really reach that left hand over your body towards those right toes. So a nice side stretch, but using your foot as an anchor to pull you closer and deeper towards that knee. I want you to inhale and exhale really deeply, breathing, allowing yourself space to just fall into that stretch bigger. And I love to use my breath to do that. As I exhale and all that air comes out, find that little bit of discomfort. Stay there as I continue breathing. As everything melts and releases. Good. Inhale. As you exhale, slowly come back up to that seated position. Good. Let's adjust our spine again. Imagine you have a weight pulling on your tailbone and a pulley pulling on the top of your head. Drop those shoulders down. Just big breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale. Reach that right hand up to the sky. Take that left hand, grab your toe. Inhale, and as you exhale, reach that right hand towards that left toe, giving a nice side bend stretch from the straddle position. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Breathing, allowing gravity to do the work. Again, imagining like if you're cooking bread and you're spreading that dough apart, the spaces that creates more mobility. If you don't like that analogy, some people use a sponge too. So if you have like an old-fashioned sponge or really any sponge and there's lots of little holes in it because it soaks up all the water, What you're trying to do is create holes that soak up all the water to lubricate your muscles. And so you can imagine your fascia like a sponge. Instead of super tight and there's no room to go through it, you want to open that up so it's a sponge, allowing everything to move optimally, creating space. 10 seconds for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wonderful. All right, we're going to go on our backs. So go ahead and breathe, inhale and exhale, and we're going to move to our back. I want your feet, both feet, to be flat on the floor, and I want your knees to be zipped up. And so what I mean by that is if there was a zipper from your toe to your glutes, I want your knees to be all the way zipped up. So feet flat on the floor, and we're on our backs. Your hands are going to be out to your side in a T. Good. And we're just going to breathe here for a minute, and I want you to feel your breath pushing feel your lungs pushing your weight into the spine, into the mat. Big breaths. All right, let's zip the toe up to our glutes. We're going to drop both legs, keeping them all the way zipped up towards the left. And you're just going to let gravity do the work. Your body's naturally going to twist, and you're just going to drop those knees towards the left. As you do that, I want you to look towards your right hand. And you're just going to breathe here. Really letting all the air in your lungs and letting everything out. Now you might notice that I have a really big breath or it's really loud. I do that on purpose because I'm allowing my breath to do work for me. About 40 more seconds. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, come back to center. You're going to take those knees and drop them to your right. Let your spine twist and gravity do the work, and then go ahead and look toward your left hand. Breathing into that lung space. Breathing into those hips, letting them fall to the right. Great job. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come back up. You can move those feet a little bit wider than hip width distance, or like hip width distance, but keep your feet flat on the ground. You're going to take your right leg, and we're going to take your both hands. You're going to take your right leg, and you're just going to place your hands on your calf or on your shin, and you're going to pull that leg towards your nose. We're just doing a nice, simple, isolated hamstring stretch. If you can't reach your calves, you can just reach the back of your knee. You can also, if you can't reach with your hands, you can just put your leg up as much as you can and pull that knee towards your face, and you can flex your toe and point your toe. Just a nice hamstring stretch. Good. Can you pull it any deeper? For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. We're going to do the other side now with our left hamstring. Go ahead and put that left leg up. Reach for the stars. Reach for that shin, or reach for the back of your hamstring, and just pull it towards your face. Getting a nice stretch in the hamstring. And just as a tip too, if it's really hard for you to kind of hold the back of your leg or get that close, if you get a hand towel or I would actually, instead of a hand towel because they're thicker, I would use like a dish towel. And what you can do is you can roll that dish towel up and then put it on the sole of your foot, and then you can pull that foot a little bit closer. It gives you basically like a whole nother arm's length to be able to pull that muscle of that leg towards your face, which is very, very helpful. So just a thought too. It's a low cost, no cost option. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly go ahead and put that leg down. We're going to do a little figure 4 from here. You're going to take that right leg, that right ankle, and you're going to place that right ankle right on your left knee, just below it. So just kind of like you're just sitting in a figure 4 stretch. You're just going to hold this there. If you don't feel anything, you can lift your leg, your left leg, and pull it towards your nose as you also simultaneously pull the right leg in a figure 4. So if you don't feel anything, that's fine. You can also push your weight onto your right leg a little bit. Beautiful. About 30 more seconds. We're going to do the other leg. Make sure you're still breathing nice and big. Go ahead and place that leg down on the ground. Take your left leg, left ankle, and place it just below your right knee. And go ahead and let gravity do the work. If you want, shift your weight towards your left hip, and you might feel that a little bit different. Or you can shift it to your right hip and see what that feels like. So just find where it feels tension and tight and where you need to release it, and just imagine yourself releasing it. You can even say it out loud and just say, release. I'm releasing all this tension in my body. I don't need it anymore. Good. 30 more seconds. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly bring that leg back down. Awesome job. Now we're going to do a nice happy baby pose, or a modified happy baby pose. And so to do that, what you can do is you're going to take both hands, you're going to bring those knees towards your chest, and you can take your hands and you can place them behind your knees, like on your hamstring, or you can grab both your feet, the tops of your feet. And if you imagine a baby who likes to play with their feet, you're just going to rock back and forth on your feet, just doing a nice happy baby pose. Now, what I like to do is rock back and forth a little bit, because what that does is it massages my lower back. And you're just pulling those feet towards your face. You can even laugh like a baby if you want, but just smile. Smiling is a good exercise. We're just in our happy baby pose on our back. Good. Perfect. Keep holding this position. Now, what I'm going to tell you too, and we're not going to do it yet, so keep holding the happy baby pose, because we're going to transition into an inner thigh stretch from the happy baby pose. This was kind of a flow into. And so as you're in happy baby pose, you can keep rocking back and forth, just doing that. Good. Now we're not going to do it right now, but what we will be doing is we'll be taking both our feet from that position, and we're actually going to put them together just like we would butterfly. And we're basically going to do like a suspended butterfly. So instead of doing butterfly on the ground or butterfly well, I guess it'd only be on the ground. We're gonna be doing butterfly stretch with our legs in the air to really just kind of get a nice inner thigh stretch. So we're gonna transition to that kind of supine inner thigh stretch in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you can take those feet, put them together, and then you're just going to pull those feet towards your belly. Now, if that's really hard to do, you're like, wow, I can't do butterfly stretch with my legs suspended in the air. That's okay. You can place your hands on the outside of your knees, or you can place them on the inside of your knees where your thighs are, putting your feet together, and you can just pull the backside of your hamstring or your knees just out, kind of pushing your knees out and trying to get those feet in to give a nice inner thigh stretch. And as you do that, you can rock back and forth. So just a little bit deeper with happy baby pose, but as our knees go out and our heels go in, you'll feel just a different stretch on usually the hip flexors, the hamstrings, and just kind of that overall lower body. So a little bit different, but just diving deeper again from happy baby pose, which is a little more fun, relaxed pose, to being intentional about really deep stretching those inner thighs and those hip flexors. And again, you can rock back and forth if you'd like. Just feeling that nice movement. Good. Beautiful job. About 30 more seconds. We have about 5 more minutes left of class, so we're almost there. Good. All right, for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and gently put those legs down. I want you to extend your arms out into a T again with your palms facing forward. You're going to extend your legs out at the same time. Good. So right now my legs are fully extended. There's no bend in my knees and my arms are just out to my sides, relaxed. And you're just going to let your body feel that stretch. So we're going to do a couple breaths here. Good. Now we're going to take that right leg and we're going to lift it up to 90 degrees. And we're going to take that right leg and we're going to twist towards the left, letting that right leg fall to the side. So my right leg went towards my left side. Now my right shoulder right now is lifted up the ground a little bit. I want you to press that right shoulder towards the ground as you just look to the ceiling and let gravity stretch you on that side. As you exhale, feel yourself sinking into the ground deeper into that stretch. About 15 more seconds. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to center. Go ahead and extend those legs out. My hands are in a T. Inhaling and exhaling, getting those breaths to center again. Take that left leg up to the ceiling and let's drop it down towards our right side as our arms stay on the ground. That left shoulder pressing into the left side of the ground. So you get a nice torso twist. Good. Really getting a nice arm opener, chest opener, while also getting a nice hip stretch. As you breathe and exhale, let that body sink into the ground further, deepening that stretch. This is our final stretch before we go into just a minor little breathing cool down. We're breathing for 20 more seconds. Good. for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to your back and let your legs fully extend out, pointing your toes. Bring those hands up over your head and just reach your fingertips away from your toes, stretching that body and that spine. My palms are facing up towards the ceiling right now. And I'm inhaling and exhaling. This is just our kind of our cool down or just our relaxing flow to end. Inhaling and exhaling. I just want you to listen to my cues as we do this last kind of pose slash just relaxation, ending the class with a big release. I want you to lift those hands up off the ground and I want you just to wave them back and forth, almost like you're doing a big wave with both hands. Like you see your mom 1,000 yards away and you're trying to get her attention. So you're waving to her like you're seaweed in water. So just really moving your hands in unison back and forth, and we're breathing. So right now my hands are above my head, almost like windshield wipers moving back and forth. And we're slowly going to move them down to over our face, just waving back and forth as we breathe. And then slowly move it so that you're waving over your chest. Your hands are going back and forth over your chest and then your belly. And you're just moving them down your body until they can't move anymore. Good, just waving them down. And you can relax those hands on the ground. And then you're just going to bring those flat or those heels of your feet up so that both heels of your feet are up and your knees are pointing towards my feet are flat on the ground and my knees are pointing towards the ceiling. And you're just going to slowly wave your knees towards the ceiling. So just kind of rocking back and forth, wiggling almost down. Good. You can push your heels out a little bit away from your glutes and just kind of rocking back and forth a little bit by a little bit, pushing those heels out till your legs are fully extended. Good. And go ahead and just rock your whole body back and forth, using your breath to ground into the mat. And go ahead and shake it out. So you can shake your arms and legs. You can rock back and forth. And as you sit up, go ahead and sit up slowly. You can sit crisscross applesauce or in a butterfly pose. Have a nice high chest, good posture. My shoulders are down. I want you to inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. You can show a muscle and give each of your shoulder a little kiss, or you can tap your shoulder and give yourself a high five. That is class today, everybody. That is our deep stretch for this beautiful Friday. Great work.